we are told that God's love is unconditional. What does it mean? Unconditional. Though we all know the meaning of it, it may not be all that easy for us to define correctly. But in a way, we can all take it for granted that God doesn't love us with any sort of condition because He is fullness of love and His love is eternal and limitless. So we need to become aware of this reality of God's way of loving each one of us in our human reality. And we also have to make an effort to follow Him, imitate Him in loving. Unless we become love, we cannot touch God. We cannot experience God. We know that each one of us are filled mostly, we won't be wrong to say, with selfishness rather than selfless love for others. And first and foremost, we only care for our own advantage. And this should be got rid of from each one of us to come closer to God as He loves us unconditionally. Whatever our limitations are, God doesn't bother. We can make an effort to imitate God, to become more and more uh, conditionless in loving. And if we don't care for that, we will miss God. This reality we should become aware of. Unconditional love within my heart. I love others for their sake, and I love myself also, not only for my sake, but for others' sake. All because God's ways are followed by each one of us unconditionally. So we cannot tell God of our fellow human beings unless you fulfill these requirements of mine, I will not love you. If I do that, then I am putting conditions. So then I cannot say I can experience God. Why? Because God's love is different from my loving. And it is always easy for us to talk about unconditional love. But most of us don't have the inner knowledge, self knowledge, how deeply we are buried in selfishness. And unless we become aware of this and take measures to get rid of all these type of selfishness, self-interest, only uh, our main concern for most human beings. So we have to become more and more keen in knowing what God is. And the beautiful thing each one of us can feel good is this, that however bad I am, my God doesn't bother because His love is without any condition. I can be the worst sinner. He will love me. He will not throw me out. He will not abandon me. And when Jesus says 770 times, you should be ready to forgive. And that's a proof how God's unconditional love is. We need to become more and more aware of this and become more and more confident that I have a God who doesn't put any limitation in His loving me. And this has to become a 24-hour reality even in my sleep, that my God loves me however bad, however, whatever times I fail, whatever times I forget Him, whatever times I neglect Him, insult Him, He will not throw me out.